Welcome back to Roosevelt Live. This segment of the show, we're going to talk about something that actually happened in 2006, but just recently the lawsuit was settled in New York City, where the officers that shot the guy back in 06, the guy that was having the Sean Bell, that was having his bachelor party, and whatever happened transpired and broke out into gunfire, of course, we know, and they say that he tried to hit them with his car or something, but the thing was they unloaded about 50 rounds in the vehicle, killing Sean Bell and injuring the other two passengers. Nobody in the vehicle had a weapon, of course, and the officers was found to not be guilty of the charges that they were trying to prosecute them for. The civil case just recently came down, and the city of New York settled with those three families for $7 million. The Bell family received $3.25 million, along with the second family of the other two guys. One family settled for $900,000, the other family settled for $3 million, which is like I said, right at about $7 million. And of course, no amount of money is going to bring back Sean Bell. No amount of money is going to wipe out the horror of being shot and being totally helpless in a vehicle where some 50 rounds have been fired at you. And according to according to the article, one of the officers allegedly, well, I don't know if it's allegedly, according to the article, one of the officers actually stopped and reloaded. And after firing 21 rounds, stopped and reloaded. I don't know, 21 rounds. I don't know if he had 21 rounds as his weapon, but he stopped and reloaded his weapon and commenced firing again. I'm not sure 50 rounds fired when no rounds are coming back at you. To me, it seems extremely excessive. I mean, if you're not being fired upon and you unleash 50 rounds, I don't get that. I just don't understand it. And it's not a race thing. Two of those officers was African American. Those three victims was African American. So we're not looking at it from a race standpoint. We're just looking at it from a, I don't know. It seems to me it was unnecessary. I don't have to be an officer to realize it's unnecessary to fire 50 rounds at someone or something that is not firing back. But either way it goes, the state, excuse me, the state of New York thought that it wasn't criminal. But the money is never going to justify or be able to heal what happened to the families of those three people. Everybody's been hurt by this. I'm sure that the officers and their families going through the trial, wondering whether their family members are going to be, lose their jobs as well as maybe lose their freedoms. So I'm sure that was something that was pressing on them, but nothing more pressing than being a victim of your family member being shot down with no chance of doing anything to defend themselves. Even they shouldn't. You don't want to be in a situation to defend yourself to the police officer, but just the fact that you're being shot at and you can't even say, "I'm trying to put my hands up," because you're trying to just duck for dear life. And it's only about, I assumed, good fortune that the other two people didn't get killed as well. But imagine the nightmares that you must have when you in that vehicle and those guns, even though it was firing pretty rapidly. I'm sure it seems like those fire was really going on forever. Imagine the groom, the bride that was getting ready to get married in just a few hours, because it was already after midnight, I think, at this point, and just in a few hours getting ready to get married, and all of a sudden you go from marrying someone to attending their funeral. That all these things got to be quite devastating. And I was thinking about it, and I'm thinking no amount of money brings back someone. When I think about the $7 million, and I remember just recently, the young girl, I believe it was in California, maybe get it correct, the state incorrect, but she had been held captured by this sex offender that had been in prison for a little while, when he's supposed to, I think he had like 100 years or something. Anyway, he got out early, way early, and that girl, when her family sued her, she got $20 million. Now, I'm not saying that what happened to her, or being held from the time she was, 11 years old until she was a grown person, and then she wound up being forced in sexual relations with this guy and wound up having two of his children. This has got to be a mind-bending, if not mind-breaking situation for her. And $20 million is a lot of money, but it does not cure, or would not cure, and in any circumstances, the trauma she went through. I mean, Even if she had $100 billion, nothing's gonna fix the problem because her brain is mentally been how should I put this? Been damaged due to what happened. But when someone loses their life and their family gets $3 million, no amount of money is gonna replace someone's son or daughter or anything else. But to me, that amount is a slap in the face, because that, I don't know who negotiated that, because not only you get $3.25 million for a death, the lawyer gonna get a third of that, and the tax is gonna eat up another third of it, and the person is still not alive. So I don't see how some $3.2 million is justifiable. I don't see how some $7 million was justifiable, split between 3 families. It seemed to me that was an insult. That's how I would have taken it, as an insult. I would have said, even though I know there's no money value on the life of the individual or on the injuries of the other 2, but $7 million split amongst 3 people when someone's life been taken, it's an insult in my opinion. And I wouldn't have taken any money like that. I wouldn't have wanted to be in a position to even have to worry about the money, because I would have hoped that my family member would have still been alive and the other 2 would have never been injured. But some accountability should have went into place. I would like that known, even though those officers was not found guilty of anything like, killing someone. But it has to be some better training in place, because that's a lot of rounds to be fired when no one is firing back. I mean, just seemed to me they were doing, my opinion, it seemed like target practice. Because I mean, you fire a couple rounds and nobody's moving in the vehicle, or nothing coming back at you. At what state? I mean, they probably was shocked. And maybe fortunately for the people in the car, maybe through bad shooting for them, that 50 rounds was fired and only 1 person was killed, because you would think after 50 rounds that everybody would have been shot to pieces and was dead. But I just feel bad for the families all the way around, really. And I think that once again, we gonna have to have some better training, because we just looked at the case where the officer in the subway, I think it was New Year's Day, that says he thought he pulled his taser when he pulled his revolver. Well, he pulled his gun out, not a revolver. He pulled his gun out and he shot the guy in the back, and the guy obviously died right there on the scene. And what do you do from there? I mean, how come you don't know the difference between a taser and your weapon? I mean, you're supposed to be taking training. You're supposed to be going to your firing squad every so often and doing the things you do to keep yourself up on what's supposed to be going on in your police life every day. How do you make a mistake? And I kept thinking about that. Even if it's the taser, I didn't see on the video. And of course, I'm looking at the video. I'm not there on top of the guy, but I didn't see the video where the guy was trying to resist. So I don't even know why the taser was even going to be needed to shoot him in the back with it when he was already on top of him at the point he pulled the weapon. So I'm not understanding what his train of thinking was. But obviously, he wasn't thinking logically when it happened. So if you think that people getting small settlements, you don't want to have to be in a situation, I don't want to be repeating myself, but you don't want to be in a situation where there are any settlements going less more than and getting such a minute amount of money for the lives of someone that's going to be lost forever, and maybe people have to go out and get therapy and things like that. And I don't know if the man had kids or not, I'm not sure. But if he did, that's even more of a problem, because who's going to pay for those educations and things of that nature, because his life got snuffed out unnecessarily. I understand the police was there looking for some type of because they said it was a place where drug dealing was going on. I don't know. That's what was being said. But I don't know how they went from there to shooting at these people. So they said they identified themselves. Of course, the people that got shot at said they never identified themselves. So we'll never know who did and who didn't. It's their word against their word. And so far, it looked like the words of the officers, the words that were standing. And that I based it on the fact that nobody went to jail. So therefore, they obviously believe what the officer said. And I'm not saying they're lying. I'm not there. I just think 50 gunshots inside of a vehicle where the guns are being fired back is excessive. And people can tell me what they think about it, and you can always go out there and send me an email at the live.roosevelt@gmail.com. I get that thing backwards so many times. That's live.roosevelt@gmail.com. You can go out there and check out the segments of the show. Like I said, we're on every Wednesday on Bright House on channel 949 or 950, depends on your area. And we on Verizon on channel 30 or 36 at 6:30 Wednesdays, replaying on Fridays at 6:30 again to 7:30. So go ahead and check out the show. If you haven't seen it before, go ahead and check out the segments on YouTube. It's about 12 weeks out there. It's YouTube /Roosevelt Live. That's YouTube /Roosevelt Live.